good for your life. So before I go any further with this video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, pound that like button so you don't miss out on more valuable content from this channel. So guys, I wanted to bring you this video first thing this morning because there's been a lot of chaos right now around the debt ceiling in the United States. What's going to happen? Is the United States going to go bankrupt? There's a lot of fear tactics out here when it comes to the federal debt ceiling. But guys, what we're dealing with right now is very normal. Before I get started too much, excuse the way I look today. I just got back from the gym, but I definitely wanted to bring you this video on the debt ceiling this morning. And please stay tuned to the end because I have some very valuable content for you. So what is the debt ceiling? Let me start off by explaining that first. Basically, what the debt ceiling is, it's the budget that the federal government sets to be able to pay the U.S. debts throughout the year or however long that time period is. On certain occasions, sometimes the U.S. doesn't have enough money to pay those debts. So that amount that they gave to pay that debt, sometimes they don't have enough money to do it. No different than you and I, where if we have a bank account, we have $1,000 in there. We know that $1,000 is going to pay our bills, but we spend that $1,000 on other things. And then at the end of the day, we don't have enough money to pay our bills. Basically, it's the same thing with the U.S. federal debt ceiling. Let me give you a little bit of history on the debt ceiling and what it actually is. So the debt ceiling was actually placed in 1917 when Congress came together. And the reason it was put in place was to appease members of Congress that were not happy about the money that was being spent on World War I. So in order to appease them, they said, hey, look, guys, we'll come together. We'll give you guys a federal debt ceiling that basically says we can't spend but X amount of money over a certain time period. And that's how we got to the debt ceiling. Now, what you're hearing in the news right now is sort of typical for the U.S. We get into a lot of situations like this. And to be exact, we've raised the debt ceiling 78 times since it was put in place in 1917. So that's quite a lot of times that we've raised the debt ceiling. So when you hear this scare tactic news that, oh, the economy is going to go under, the U.S. is going to go bankrupt, we're not going to have enough money, no one's going to get paid, our stock market is going to tank, we're going to go into a Great Depression again. Guys, this is all fear tactics, and this is how the media feeds you in order to scare you into fear of investing in the stock market and doing other things. This is just my example of what I think's happening. Okay. So the other part to that is, the unfair balance in the stock market. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Your major players in the stock market, like your hedge funds, your large entities that are investing in the stock market, these guys who are putting millions and billions in the stock market each and every day, they invest differently than you and I. And we have to learn how to be more savvy investors and invest the way they invest. Okay, we may not have the same money, but if we invest the way they do, and if we follow these large entities, these hedge funds, your Warren Buffetts of the world, we do a whole lot better even on our smaller investments. Matter of fact, Warren Buffett told us this. He said, I'm buying when the stock market's at its worst, and I'm holding out. And then when it gets at its best, that's when I'm selling. See, us, the common consumer, we feed off of fear in the reverse. When things get worse, when they say, hey, it's a debt ceiling, the U.S. is going to go bankrupt, the little stocks that we have, we're like, oh my God, I got to sell now. I have to get out of here. There's no way I can stay in the stock market and lose all of my money. No, that's the time we want to be invested. That's the time when I'm going to be invested. I can't tell you what to do, But me as an investor, I'm investing in that time, especially if I'm investing in the short term. So the news I want to get to towards the end of this video is this. So as of this weekend, the federal government has come to terms with suspending the U.S. debt ceiling. So what does that actually mean? That means that they're taking the cap, the budget off of it until 2025. So meaning typical U.S. government, we basically have, so to speak, unlimited funds to kind of spend to keep the economy moving. So what this means for us is this was a great time to invest over the last 2 weeks. When we saw that fear, institutional investors, hedge funds, they were investing in the stock market heavily. If you notice, the stock market was in the red, and it's been in the red for quite some time. We had some days where we've gone back to the green, but most of the time over, I say the past 12 months, stock market has been in the red. We've been in a bear market. This has been the time to buy. So my prediction, and others that I'm learning from as well, are saying that the stock market is actually going to see a little bit of an increase today when the market opens, which that makes sense. We got positive news that the debt ceiling would be suspended, and that the economy is going to be able to continue to move, meaning the economy is going to be able to continue to pay its bills. Federal workers will get paid, interest will get paid, tax refunds will get paid. So that's positive news for our economy, right? So the stock market is going to move with positive news. The reason being is common investors like you and I are going to say, oh, everything's good, everything's hunky-dory, I'm going to go ahead and start buying. Oh, everything's safe again. Well, you're buying too late, guys. You should have bought last week, 2 weeks ago, when we were in that uncertainty. That's when the institutional investors were buying. That's when the hedge funds were buying. That's when Warren Buffett was buying. He was buying when the market had the most uncertainty. And because of that, this week, hopefully with the uptick that I predicted we'll see today, we'll see that those guys are going to come out very well. Now, for you that may be saying, oh, I want to buy today when the market is green, you're buying at a higher price. It's no difference than when you go to the supermarket. Do you want to buy a gallon of milk for $5, or do you want to buy a gallon of milk for $2.50? Okay, you want to buy it for $2.50. Why wouldn't you treat the stock market the same way? You buy low, you sell high. Now, for me, I'm more of a long-term investor. So, I'm looking to hold mines for the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. So I'm just dollar cost averaging into the market, and I'll get into that in another video. But hey, guys, I wanted to bring you this today and just drop these few gems on you. So as always, plan your excellence today so you have success tomorrow. Peace.